Fellow CCNetters, it is I, Kaza King Simp, and here I shall show you how to become a Movecraft engineer. To begin, the first thing you're going to want to take a look at are these three commands: /craft calc craft size, /craft blocks craft, and /craft blocks compare craft craft. Alright. Now, what these commands do, it's pretty simple. /craft calc, and you can pick any one of these crafts. You can pick an aircraft carrier or merchantman. You can go as far as a cog if you want to. For this, let's just go ahead and stick to the aircraft carrier as an example, right? The second you type this in, just as is, it will give you the minimum size of the craft. Just to prove that, you can put in a number smaller than 6,000, like 5,000, and it'll tell you that the minimum size is 6,000. To find the maximum size of any craft, you put in the craft name after /craft calc, and you just put in a really large number, like let's go for 600,000. And this tells us that the maximum size for an aircraft carrier is 13,000. Now, by doing this command here, typing in that maximum number, we can compare and see the required blocks for the aircraft carrier at these different sizes. As you can see, the ones here in blue are requirements. These are blocks that must be part of the craft in order for it to actually pilot and work. The reds are here, the ones here in the little red, are the limits of what specific blocks it can have. So terracotta, it has a maximum of 15%. Droppers, barrels, glazed terracotta, and dispensers. And this goes for any craft, alright? You go for a truck, for example, you're going to get the same stuff, alright? Just know that these requirements and limitations change depending on the craft, alright? Like if you go for, let's say, a fighter, right? You'll notice that while a truck uses concrete and redstone as its requirements, the fighter only uses redstone lamps and slabs. So keep that in mind whenever you're designing a craft, to look at the minimums and the maximums. If your craft is too large, it won't pilot. If your craft is too small, it won't pilot. If it has not enough redstone, not enough slabs, not enough, you get it, right? It's all here, all right? This is how you know whether it's going to work or not. Next, you want to know what kind of blocks you can put on that thing, right? That's what /craft blocks is for. Alright, so /craft blocks, all one word. Let's go back to that aircraft carrier, and you can go through this amazing list of blocks that show you, or this amazing list that shows you the amount of blocks, or different kinds of blocks you can put in on that aircraft carrier. And you can do that again, of course, if any other of the other crafts. You can go for a tank, for example, and this shows you all the blocks that it can have. If the block is not on this list, it will not be able to be part of the craft. Alright? Now, an important thing to know is that anything, and I mean anything, that is on that list and is next to that vehicle can become part of the vehicle. Alright? For example, let's say you're making yourself a Zeppelin, right? Let's just say that this is a Zeppelin, for example, right? Small little Zeppelin. But you put a piece of wool next to it. Wool can be part of a Zeppelin. So if it's touching more wool, that more wool is going to try and be part of that Zeppelin. You have to separate it. And the best separator for any Movecraft is stone. Alright. And this is also a bit into how turrets work, but we'll get that into a moment, alright? /craft blocks, compare craft. Alright, this is how you get to add in cranes, turrets, elevators, and put other crafts on top of other crafts, you know. Alright, This is how you get stuff like these turrets to work, which we'll go over in a moment. But first, we need to try and learn how to separate them. Alright, so Slashcraft blocks, compare. Let's go for an aircraft carrier. And we want to put in, let's say a turret on an aircraft carrier, right? Let's go ahead and do turret. Okay, so this is the way how I usually say it, okay? Blocks that you can put on an aircraft carrier, but blocks that cannot be put on a turret, okay? Blocks that an aircraft carrier can have, blocks that a turret cannot, right? Basically, Slashcraft blocks compare blocks that this craft can have that this craft cannot have. It's a bit of a of a wordful, but it's the way how you can best understand it. There's also color-coded stuff here, so you can see that. Anywho, these are all the blocks that may separate an aircraft carrier from a turret. If a turret is piloted on top of any of these blocks will not become part of the turret, but they will remain part of the aircraft carrier. Alright? Including the blocks that are on that turret. Of course, you can also do the opposite and see blocks that can be on a turret, but not on an aircraft carrier. And the other one is snow. Alright, now let's get down over here to these turrets so I can show you how they work. So, starting off here, we have two little Among Uses. Alright, now they have two subcraft rotate signs, as you can see. First line subcraft rotate, second line turret. This one over here is a little bit different though. It's a reverse. Alright. Basically, it will do the complete opposite action of what this one does, right? For example, keep note of the rear and the front, the eye and the cheek, okay? So, you right click on this and it will rotate, that's right, clockwise. Clockwise. But if I right click on this, it will face me, right? Because it's rotating counterclockwise, alright? Counterclockwise when I right click. Clockwise when I right click, alright? And this is very important when we start getting down to ships, because let's say you want to try and make yourself like a ship, right? You got a cannon on the front, you got a cannon on the back. If you want to right click to rotate them clockwise, but they're both subcraft rotate signs, this one's going to rotate clockwise, this one's going to rotate clockwise, and now you got your cannons facing in opposite directions. That's not what you want, right? So instead, you add in that the reverse sign, right? You add in this little reverse sign right here. So whenever you right click, now this faces in the direction that you want it to. And of course, whenever I left click, this is going to rotate counterclockwise, alright? Left click, rotates left, right click, rotates right. Complete opposite on this one though, right? Right click rotates left click rotates right. Alright. Moving on to how to see that these turrets can be separated, alright? So, this is a tank with a rotatable cannon. Just to prove that it can rotate, let's get up here onto this tank actually. Here you go. Oh, it's obstructed. There you go. Yep, as you can see, this can rotate. And then believing it can actually do a full 180. Ta-da! It's facing the opposite way now. Isn't that cool? And the way how it's separated is pretty simple. If you do the command /craft blocks compare tank turret, you will see that the wool here before me, brown wool. Oh, what else? You got the green wool, the furnace, and the lime glaze terracotta are all blocks that can be part of a tank but not part of a turret. That's what allows this turret to be able to just move freely without rotating the wool. You can see that even more clearly as I rotate this, as the wool did not rotate with the turret. Moving on, ships. Alright, this is a bit of a cutout of one of my Corvettes that I designed. And as you can see, the turret's very well inside of that hull. Now, whenever you're working with turrets on a ship, you want to be sure you're careful of the vertical, diagonal, merging rule. All right, this is how this looks like. All right, if your turrets are like this in a way, right? Imagine that right over here is a sign. Let me grab a sign real quick. All right, that's your rotate sign for your turret. This is vertically, diagonally merging with this piece of concrete right here. All right. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. All right. So if you're ever designing your turrets, my greatest recommendation is that you fill in these spots right here. So that way, the sign cannot merge to any concrete around it, because that will not merge vertically, diagonally anymore. It's impossible because you put those blocks there. All right. Vertical diagonal merging will merge. Horizontal diagonal merging will not merge. All right. Keep that in mind. Moving on, we have some very cool cannons here. Okay. Let me grab myself a clock real quick. Now, the way I'm going to show you guys this, the best way for you to tell which crafts can have these cannons is just simply by going onto the wiki. All the information I'm giving to you is on the /wiki, and I'll link that at the end of the video so you guys can go ahead and look at that. Alright, anywho, right over here I have a very, very beautiful wall, untouched, alright, ready for us to shoot out with all these cannons. This is how the damage scaling looks like for that wall. White is like the face of it, and black is the complete opposite side of it. If we go beyond that, that means these cannons are too powerful, right? Anywho, this is the anti-air cannon. Alright, this is how the center looks like. Just so you know, that is a stone brick block. Alright, just to prove I'm not lying to you, that's right there, middle click. Alright, and it's right here too. Alright, now, flash pilot turret. And this is how the damage looks like. There we go. Penetrated up to the orange, looks like. Nice. 3 blocks in. This right here is a 4-inch cannon. You guys can pause the video if you guys want to see how to build this one. Alright. Let me go ahead and show you a preview of this one as well, because I kind of forgot to give you that. And just to show you, there is nothing on top, right? Also, just so you know, the barrel is where the ammunition goes. Another cool thing to know, by the way, which I forgot to mention, is you want to make sure to protect the observer of your cannon. This is the most important part. If this gets destroyed, your entire cannon dies. Anywho, though, just to prove they can load from the barrel, I'm going to put that ammunition in that barrel. And whenever I start aiming this, there we go, I loaded. And now I fire. There we go. That's 1 block of penetration. Nice. That is the 4-inch cannon. Moving on, this right here is the 9-inch cannon. A little bit taller from its downgrade, but yeah, it's 9 inches. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. Let's see how this one fires. Or how much damage this one does, my bad. Wonderful, wonderful. Moving on to the next cannon. This is the 12-inch shell. Little preview of it. Now, just so you guys can not get lost, alright? I'm going to show you how long this barrel is. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright? That's how long those stone bricks are. Alright? Looks exactly the same on the other side. Alright? Anywho. There we go. Next cannon. Alright. Let me show you how long this one barrel is. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Moving on, this one's a little bit more different. These last couple cannons primarily go on ships, if you guys don't know. 4-inch, 9-inch, 12-inch, 14-inch, right? All ship. This one right here is a plane cannon. This one goes on a fighter. See, fighter magazine. Anywho though, here's how damage this one does. That went on all the way down to... let's find out. Ah, dark gray. That's like right there. 1 block away from black. Alright. Oh, I forgot I needed to have some colors for the separation. There. Anywho though. There's nothing behind it, nothing in front of it, nothing on top of it. That's the fighter gun cannon. Next one is the autocannon. Alright. Now, you might be wondering, why is there more barrels on this one than the other ones? So the barrels are basically where you can put the ammunition at. Any positions you can place them at. You can have like the barrel up there if you wanted to, or here on the side, or here on the bottom like every other cannon. Alright. So, as you can see, you can only have the barrel on the bottom side of these cannons. But when it comes to the autocannon, you can have it on all 3 of these sides. Super fancy, am I right? Anywho though. Here's the damage that this one does. I think that one also went down to the dark gray. Oh, that one's black right there. Oh man, nice. Now moving on, this one right here is the heavy tank cannon. Very long as you can see. And I'll count it from this side, because I counted it earlier. Don't worry, confuse me too. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. Now, going on to this heavy tank. Nice. About 2 blocks of penetration. And again, this is how this one looks like. Observer, 2 iron, 2 stone brick, and 7 silver bolts. This one right here is the IFV cannon. Now this one doesn't really deal damage to blocks. It's more of a anti-player cannon. Okay, I already loaded it earlier, I guess. But yeah, you just fire it by spam left clicking. There you go. Moving on, this one here is the tank cannon. Alright. A bit smaller from its bigger brother over here, but yeah, this is the tank cannon right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blocks long. Alright. And now to fire it. Nice. Nice. 2 blocks of penetration. A bit smaller impact, of course, but yeah. Now this one here is a tank MG. It can be paired with the tank cannon on the tank. And of course, these are the placements for all the ammunition, for wherever we want to put it at. Do keep note that this one does not do player damage either. This is primarily an anti-player cannon. And it will fire regardless whether you aim or not. The second you fire it, it all goes down. Now this one here is a bomb bay. Alright, I'm just going to show you how this one looks like, because I can't really fire it yet. But luckily for us, I got us a little strip right there to show exactly what the damage is. Now this is the ammunition for the bomb bay, of course. The bomb, this is how it looks like, alright. Super cool. I put it there on the ground so you can take a better look at it. Alright. Place you can put the ammunition at. Alright. And yes, this is polished deep state, by the way, in case you can't tell. And over here is the rocket launcher, alright? The texture here is a bit broken right now, so it looks like a wooden hoe, but I promise you this is not what it looks like on the actual game. Okay, this one's actually reloaded, okay. I'm not sure I can fire this one though. Okay, I can't. Not on this. Alright, well in that case, I'll be bringing out the bomber then. Give me one moment.
Soy un gigante de hierro. Soy un gigante en verdad. Un hechizo logrará que yo te deje de amar. Una envidia vencerá. Soy un gigante en verdad. Por ti, por ti, por ti. El paso del gigante.
Alright guys, well now that I showed you how the bomber and the rocket launcher works, next we'll be going over this right here. The depth charge launcher. Alright, now this typically goes on a destroyer, so I would have to bring out a destroyer to show you guys how this one works, but I think you guys get the idea how this one would work. Anywho though, over here is the ammunition for this. This is the depth charge. That's how it looks like. Alright, and just for your information, this is a round view. There we go. Now this one right here is the flare launcher. Alright. Now this one actually uses a shell, which is also used in the howitzer. But I can't really fire this because I need a plane for that. And I'm not going to add one to a plane. Anywho though, now I'll be moving on here to the armor, alright? Or not the armor, I guess the components, alright? So, terracotta is signified as the armor block for this. For all vehicles, alright? That's why you'll see a percentage on them when you do the command /craft calc, and you go for anything that would typically have armor, like let's say a tank, right? There you go. You got 10%, 5% of glazed terracotta, and then 30% of regular terracotta. That's because glazed terracotta is also used for armoring in a way around turrets, as it doesn't merge turrets. Anywho though. Here you have redstone blocks, which are more so critical components of the vehicle. And right here you have concrete, which is a softer block, alright? And these two are typically components for big vehicles like tanks and aircraft carriers, trucks, you got it, right? So typically what you want to do when you're armoring is you typically want to keep your redstone the most protected because it has the smallest percentage. Concrete second because it has a slightly higher percentage in requirements, and terracotta you want to have this protected all, right? Now a couple of things to note is whenever designing Movecraft, the furnace is always going to be your engine block, all right? This is where you can put in either, blocks of coal, blocks of charcoal. You can also put in regular coal and charcoal, all right? Anything else is entirely custom, alright? Now here are different ammo boxes you can have for your cannons. As you see, typically over there I have barrels, but you can also use chests if you want to. Over here are some blocks that are specific to other vehicles. Like I showed you in the beginning of the video, you can tell what the components are or the requirements are for certain vehicles by doing /calc. As you can see, the train will use concrete, but it will not have redstone at all. Instead, it will ask for iron and blast furnaces. Same goes for the icebreaker, and same goes to the fighter and the bomber. Now, over here I have for us some examples of armoring, alright? You are more than welcome to copy all these and use them however you like. I also encourage you to, on your own time, go ahead and come up with your own armoring designs. Alright, this is the glory of Movecraft. You get to design stuff like this. You got a checkerboard pattern right here. You got this pattern right here. And you can make it thicker too. You can have something more complex where you have like, you know, here on the back, then it becomes checkerboard or something. Right? Or you can do something like a mold, you know, or like, oh, now this becomes flat or something. It's completely entirely up to you how you design your armoring. Just be careful you don't go beyond the limit of terracotta, because then it won't let you put on anymore. But always try to max out your terracotta if you want to have a really well protected vehicle. Don't forget it. All right. Moving on. Ships. All right. So the best way to design any kind of Movecraft really is to design from reference. Now here later in the video I might put on the screen as I'm talking a couple examples of ships or tanks or trucks that you can take inspiration from and design based off of, you know. You can even design like historical ships like the Bismarck or something. Now, those designs can be very effective. Those designs may not necessarily be effective. It all depends on the design at the end of the day. Now, the most important part of designing any kind of ship is the turret placement. You want to make sure your turrets can function, they can rotate, and they don't interrupt each other. Of course, you're more than welcome to break that rule and make whatever it is that you want. Alright. And now that I've shown you some philosophy regarding Movecraft, the next part that I believe you should take a look at is going to be the wiki. Alright. Now, in the next portion of this video is going to be a little bit laggy because I recorded with Bandicam and for whatever reason the videos from them were not turning out right. But you're going to see me, Jerry Duck, and Calico design our very cool, awesome tanks. And then later on you'll see a higher quality video of me and Calico doing a 1v1. Me and this tank right here, which you are more than welcome to copy. I will have a time-lapse and a not time-lapse video so you can like watch, copy, and design. This is a completely free tank that you are more than welcome to use for your own nation, for whatever it is you want. You can modify it, you can change it, you can rename it, alright? Or you can keep its really funny name of Roasted Dandelion if you want to. Another thing I also recommend is whenever you're designing Movecraft is to try and keep a palette like this, where you just have all the blocks that you want to use for your vehicle already just put out there, alright? That way, you're not having to like mismanage your entire inventory of all these blocks that you can possibly use, you know. Anywho though, moving on to the time lapse, alright. Welcome, CCNetters. This right here is going to be a mock battle between tanks that were just made using the wonderful information that you have experienced throughout this video. Here are two tanks designed by Calico over here, a Pikachu tank and a Toothless tank. Alright? Just remember, it's all about refinements, alright? It's all about refinements. Now without further ado, let's get down to the actual fight. There we go, now it works. Alright. Can I fire? I can fire, alright, great. Alright. On the count of 3, you can start firing. You're ready.
Okay.
Alright. 1, 2, 3, begin. Oh, my cannon's gone. Cooked. I gotta run. I'm out of fuel too. Congratulations, CCNetter. You have finally completed the Movecraft Designing Basics course. Through this instruction, I hope that you have become a well and knowledgeable Movecraft designer who knows how to make turrets, cannons, armor, make your own design philosophy, and of course, build a tank or whatever it is that you want to build, alright? Remember, do not lose confidence in building Movecraft. It is not easy, it is not hard, it is just time consuming. That's all it is. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.